Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. This is Trending Topic Tuesday, and we got a lineup for y'all, okay? And who's on the lineup? Well, they call anybody from Houston? Is anybody from Houston out there? If you from Houston out there, you know this particular individual. They call him Macaroni Tony. Well, Macaroni Tony got a beat down out there at the Galleria Mall. We're going to have to talk about it. Now, listen, guys, somebody asked me, I'm sure all of you know by now, that brawl that happened out there in Montgomery, Alabama. Oh, God, I couldn't put it on the trending topics tonight. I just don't have the energy. It's going to take a lot of energy. If y'all insist upon talking about it, y'all really want to talk about it, maybe I'll add it till Wednesday. I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot. And I didn't want to just take my energy in that direction on this Tuesday, okay? But if y'all are so compelled, y'all have to talk about it. Email me, let me know, and I can't promise, I might, get into it. Sheila, thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, so I might get into it, but I'm not positive just yet. All right, so we're going to talk about Macaroni Tony, okay? Then there's this teenager on the F train, loses her natural mind, and now they're looking for her for a hate crime. You want to act all crazy, act a fool? Well, now they're looking for you, okay? They coming for you, all right? So we're going to talk about that teenager. I don't know what's going on these days, but everybody seems to be losing it. And then we got Tory Lanez. He was sentenced today. They gave him 10 years. We're going to talk about it. Listen, he had to do the time, right? Yeah, he was going to do some time. He was found guilty. But 10 years? I don't know. Y'all got to let me know your thoughts. I don't want to be insensitive, and I'm not trying to be, but I'm just like, whoa, 10 years? All right, but okay, we're going to talk about it. And then we got some more. Y'all know these airport stories. They just come my way. They just gravitate towards me, okay? We got another airport situation. And when we get to this situation, all I can say is if you and your boo are fighting at the airport, it might be time for y'all to break up, all right? It might be time for y'all to say, you know what? It's a wrap. It's over. We are toxic together, so let's just be friends. Now, y'all know what I need y'all to do. Y'all need to give me a what in the chat. A what? What do I need? I need to see it out there. All right, Wayne gave it to me. Okay, Sheila gave it to me. Y'all know what I need. I need a what so I can board this train. I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. We're about to board this train for Tuesday night trending topics. And a lot of people have been telling me they're not getting the notifications, okay? Listen, guys, for the most part, if I got a story, I'm probably going to come on Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So even if you don't get the notification, look out for your girl, okay? That's right, y'all. Give me a what? A choo-choo. And also, guys, y'all know what y'all got to do to keep me in the algorithm, to keep me going. You got to hit that like button for Diva. That's all I ask. Y'all be emailing me talking about Diva, come on. Diva, do your show. Diva shows up, gives y'all a show, give y'all my input, and y'all hop the train. Y'all don't even want to just hit the like button. all I need for y'all to do is hit the like button, okay? So we're about to get into this, but we're gonna load this train first. So I'm gonna load the train, okay? And who we got in the building? Hey, E.
Hey, Diva, choo choo.
One now. Hey, Dustin.
Hey, my bestie, how are you doing this evening?
Your bestie is doing well. Thanks for being here. Okay, my opinion, Robin, Sebastian. Come on now, people. Nikki, Denzel. Hey, Wayne. Hey, everybody.
And I'm just gonna say that
Hey.
I'm just gonna say this to the people in the back that's not liking Diva's videos. People need to start liking Diva's videos, or I'm gonna start going crazy.
All right, Dust. All right,
Well, now,
Dusty.
don't have my bestie going crazy, okay? Listen, guys, hit the like button, okay? It looks like we got one seat left on the platform. If you want to join us, come on up because, the train is almost packed. Now, listen, guys, we're going to go ahead and get right into these trending topics. Anybody out there from Houston? Okay, because maybe he seems to be very well known in Houston, but Macaroni Tony got a beat down over there in the mall. So we're going to be the judge tonight. If did they go too far, or did Macaroni Tony deserve this beat down? Now I'm going to go ahead and share a screen so we can get right into this story. Let me see which one this is. All right, I think this might be it here. Okay, this is it here. Okay, so Macaroni Tony gets beaten up by the family at a Houston Galleria, mall. Viral video shows it all. So let's listen to the news here. Let me see if I could play this for y'all.
To inappropriately touch her and her father intervened.
Now there's a police investigation, but not into the man, into the father. And
Can you turn it up, Diva?
This is
Turn the sound up a little bit.
Videos of the family fighting the man are now circulating on social media.
Yeah, if you've been to Galleria Mall, you may have seen a man walking around in a flamboyant suit. Well, on Saturday, an 18-year-old girl and her father ended up on video fighting the man after the girl says he tried to touch her bottom with a feather that he carries around.
I seen him get the feathers and try to smack my butt. And I moved. I was like, And when I turned back, he stuck his tongue out. And he had put the feathers in my little sister's face.
That escalated to this here at Galleria Mall on Saturday. The video is viral on social media. 18-year-old Carnisha Jackson was shopping with her 13-year-old sister, younger brother, and her dad, as she told Fox 26's Isaiah Carey. The teen says the man who tried swatting her bottom with a feather is someone often seen walking inside Galleria Mall wearing over-the-top suits, who's known as Macaroni Tony.
I never saw him being a harm to anybody. He just walks around looking, I guess, extravagant. So,
if he's doing something inappropriate to especially female girls, of course, maybe I think any parent will get uncomfortable.
In videos Macaroni Tony has posted to social media, he can be seen rubbing women's bottoms with the feather. The teen says she's never heard of him. She says when he tried touching her with the feather, she told her dad.
My daddy pointed at his head. He's like, "Don't you touch my kid. Don't you touch my kid. Don't you touch my kids."
The 18-year-old says before customers started recording, the man grabbed her father.
I started seeing blood. As soon as I seen blood, I hurried up and ran up to the situation. I just started punching the man because he was choking my daddy from behind.
Macaroni Tony denies touching the teen with the feather.
Two young ladies walk by, a big girl and a little girl walk by, and I see them wave. I just wave myself, and I'm waving myself, feathering myself. And they walk on by. They about 15 feet away. And then when they look back, I just wave the feather like this here. And that's it. That's it. The whole thing is out of proportion. Well, me touching somebody with that feather is a damn lie.
He did not touch me. He did not. He tried to.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, wait, let me see. Hold on one second.
Well, Macaroni Tony has filed a complaint with the Houston Police Department, and an assault investigation is underway. Reporting live in Galleria, I'm Donnelly Keith.
All right, so they beat down Macaroni Tony. Okay, we're going to talk about this. So, viral video captures a local legend, Macaroni Tony, in a shocking altercation at the Houston Galleria shopping mall at the allegations of inappropriate behavior towards two teenage sisters. If you've been to the Galleria Mall, you may have seen a man walking around in a flamboyant suit. Well, on Saturday, an 18-year-old girl and her father ended up on video fighting the 73. He's 73 years old, God. 73-year-old man after the girl says he attempted to touch her bottom with a feather he carries around. Okay, so that's Macaroni Tony there in his suit with his feather. Okay, he just likes to entertain the people, I guess, in his retirement. I don't know. Okay, she said I saw him get the feathers and he tried to smack my butt and I moved. I was like and I moved and I turned back and he stuck his tongue out. Then he put the feathers in my little sister's face, says the 18-year-old. Okay, the 18-year-old was shopping with her 13-year-old sister, younger brother, and her dad. The teen says the man who tried swatting her bottom with a feather is someone often seen walking inside Galleria Mall wearing over-the-top suits, and he's known as Macaroni Tony. Now, did they do Macaroni Tony dirty? Okay, they beat him down. Look at his face. They beat the mess out of Macaroni Tony. Now, what are your thoughts on this? We're going to go around. Look at him. He's 73.
That's what he gets.
He said, I did not touch nobody. She even said she didn't touch him. He didn't touch her. Okay. They beat Macaroni Tony down. E, what are your thoughts?
Good. Good for this girl and her father. Absolutely good. Way to go, Dad. Because Tony is a predator. I don't care what he says. He touched that girl with that feather. And then put that feather in that other girl's face. These are kids. What about the kids? As soon as he wakes up from the hospital, they need to lock his ass up and put him in jail. Give Tony 10 damn years. How about that? 10 years, 10 long years. And maybe by 2033, if he learned his lesson and he learned to keep his feathers to himself, we can discuss parole. But it's too many folks preying on kids walking around and not being policed by the fathers in the community. If more fathers were present, then less predators would be present. Tony calls himself entertainment. It's not entertainment. It's a circus. Okay, it's not amusing. If it was my daughter, I wish that she would have a father like that to put this man in his place. Way to go, Dad. And I hope that the father is not charged. Tony, I need you to sit down next to Tory Lanez, think about what you've done, and then we'll holler at you in 2033. Bye.
Whew. All right. He wants to lock Macaroni Tony up. Dustin, what are your thoughts?
I have to agree with E on this panel tonight, and this ain't very often, but I do agree with E on this. He's gonna we're gonna see what the cops think, and we're gonna see where he ends up, and I bet you he ends up in prison for it too.
Dustin, I'm the one you want to agree with. Don't do me like that, bestie.
Well, listen, right now the cops are looking for the 18-year-old and dad, okay? Because she said he didn't touch me. Now, could they have talked to him? They beat the mess out of Macaroni Tony. And he said, I didn't do it. Robin, what are your thoughts?
Yikes. I sounds like if the daughter says that she wasn't touched, the father was probably way overreacting. I think that it sounds like the father's response was a little over the top, but I'm not mad at Daddy for trying to protect his daughter. And also, it sounds like old man Tony is inappropriate and he needed to be checked. I just don't think he should have been checked that hard.
Yeah. All right. Sebastian, Macaroni Tony. They beat the mess out of him. He's 73. He's a senior citizen.
I could care less he's a senior citizen or someone who's about to pass. You don't do that with feathers to children or anyone without their consent. This is wrong. I'm glad this would wake him up to no longer do this nastiness with his feathers. You don't do this. This is gross. This is very gross. And you know what? I'm glad that they beat him up because they could have done other things. They could have unalived him if they wanted to. So beating him up is the least of worries he should have of the getting a beating. I'm sorry. And also, you don't do this with children, even if they did consent. You don't do this with children. You don't.
Yeah. Okay. All right. In my opinion, what are your thoughts on Macaroni Tony?
It seems like Macaroni Tony need to have his behind in some elderly care, because if this is his retirement years and this is what he find entertaining, is going around the mall and putting a feather in front of somebody's face or behind their booty. Yeah, I can't help you. I'm gonna need them to sit Macaroni Tony down. Okay, he done served all the years he need. Okay, um, sad that he got his behind beat so bad. I do feel sad for that part. But hey, mess with somebody's kids, it's liable to happen to you.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah. All right, Nikki. Wait, Jamie said, guess what, Sebastian? If they unalived him, they are going to jail. They're lucky that Macaroni Tony is still good. He's pretty roughed up, but he survived. Thank goodness, I'll show him one more time. Thank goodness Macaroni Tony survived the beating.
Well, I want to say this. I want to say this, Diva, real quickly, for the person who told me that. This was in the state of Texas. Last time I recall, certain types of behaviors around children, I believe you can unalive them. I believe a father did unalive a man who was R-ing his daughter.
Come on, Sebastian.
And got away with it scotch-free. This is in the state of Texas, the Lone Star State.
Mm-hmm.
So Macaroni Tony needs to keep his hands to himself, or the next time he does this, he will be unalived. I could care less.
He'll be a macaroni salad.
All right. Claire said Wackaroni Tony. All right. All right. Nikki, Macaroni Tony. He's 73. He's a senior citizen.
First of all, I'm just gonna say, Sebastian, not so much on Houston, Texas. Second of all, this is how we get down in H-Town. So no, I'm joking. But I feel like I've seen him in like a lime green suit with a feather in his hat.
Uh-huh.
But honestly, I shop at the Galleria a lot, which is what we're talking about. But I only go into, and it's not because I'm super fancy, but I only go into like Saks, Neiman's, and Nordstrom's because they have lots of people outside with, like, I would say homeless people, sketchy people. And so when I go into those particular stores, they typically have officers, like right as soon as you walk in, you see the Louis Vuitton, there's an officer there. Same thing with Nordstrom's. There's an officer standing right at the door. So I feel more safe, but I also feel like probably in the last 3 years, the Galleria area, for some reason, I don't know why, is becoming increasingly dangerous. Like, we went there, me and my sister-in-law went there for like to go to Nobu. And my mother-in-law called us. She was like, y'all don't need to be going over there. I'm like, we at Nobu. What are you talking about? She's like, it's dangerous. So I hope that it doesn't get worse, but I've heard things like from people that work there, like in the restaurants and stuff. It's scary. So I try to just go like in the morning before all the crazy people wake up, like at 10:30 or 11, because it's. But regarding Mr. Tony, is that his name with the suit, whatever?
Macaroni Tony.
I just feel like, I'm sorry, I just feel this way. Like, don't play with people like that. Like, don't get in people's space, because you don't know what type of response that person is going to get, and then who they with. You never know. And like Sebastian's point, Texas is they regard firearms in this state. I'm not really a proponent of it, but people come with their heat. They have it in their car. So it's just like, it's best to just mind your business, leave people the hell alone. Just saying. But that's me, my opinion.
All right. Maybe Macaroni Tony, he's 73. I don't know if he got a wife or anything. Maybe he's a little bored, and him dressing up in his suits, going around, doing his feather thing is his thing. I don't know. Wayne, did Macaroni Tony deserve to get this beat down? You're muted.
Oh, Diva, not unless I heard it incorrect. But when you first came on, I thought the girl said, he touched me with the feather. Did I hear that correct?
No, I don't know if I said that, but no, she clearly said in the news like he didn't touch me, but she said he tried to touch me and he licked his tongue out at me,
I
but
know,
he
but
did not touch
in the beginning, it sounded. In the beginning, I thought she.
Oh, we lost Wayne.
Wayne is right. I heard that too. That
Well,
she
I
said,
can play,
touch my
I can
butt.
play it again, but but she changed it later on. Did you see that? Ladon Sweet Tea, thank you for the super chat. This must be black people tired of the crap week. We are
Yes.
floods on land in by sea. Thank you, Ladon, for the super chat. I truly appreciate you. You thought okay, Michelle, go ahead, Wayne.
No, I was saying, I thought she said he touched me with the feather. In the beginning, as soon as it came on, she was talking.
I have to go back and listen now. I'm gonna try to cue it back up, but go ahead.
Okay, I'm just saying, I thought she said that.
Something wrong with your service, Wayne.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
getting a
it's
lot better.
staticky.
It's really staticky, man.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know
gonna
I hear.
drop out and come back in.
Okay, I'll go.
All right, Denzel, what are your thoughts? Macaroni Tony, what's your thoughts?
Okay, so wait a minute. Okay, so she said he didn't touch her.
She backtracked. I don't remember what she said initially, but I do know she backtracked and said that he did not touch her.
Okay. Uh, okay. Well, first of all, his stage name, whatever, it sounds stupid. It's corny. Um, you know what? I don't feel sorry for him. I don't feel sorry for him. He deserved that beat down. Okay, you don't do that, and he's gonna do that. I mean, he's gonna do that to the wrong person, and it might be worse. So he needs to stop with that. He needs to stop with that because that's not funny. That's not funny. See, karma is a B. Karma ain't no joke. So he got his karma, and I hope he learns his lesson because if he don't, it might be worse. He's a sicko.
Yeah, Macaroni Tony messed up. Um, he messed up. He messed up, but it was a severe beatdown. So go ahead, Wayne, your thoughts. Wayne, do you want me to come back to you? Because you're on mute now.
Okay.
Okay.
I played it back. She did say he tried it. He tried to. I went back to the beginning, and she did say. I thought she said she hit him, but anyway, of course, that's not right at all. I don't think I would have done that. I think if my daughter said that or whatever, I think I would have got the police because I was in a situation like that before. I was in when I was in the military, I was in the South. We had stopped off someplace, and I was in the store, wanted to pick up the kids something. We was in there, and my son asked me. He said, "Dad, what's a buckwheat?" I said, "What do you mean, what's a buckwheat?" He said, "Oh, what's a buckwheat?" I said, "Well, that was the little character on the Little Rascal." I said, "Why you ask me that?" He said, "Because this man called me buckwheat and asked if I want some candy." When he said that, I flew out that store. Now I did go looking for the man, and I was heated. Never found him, but I did. I think got the police. Okay, because I know this girl in church I used to go to, and she came home. No, not her. Her daughter came home and said this man slapped her. Okay, Jackie got a knife, went back up to the bus stop to wherever it was, and stabbed this man
Oh my God.
and killed him.
Ooh.
Guess what?
She in jail.
She was the wrong man.
Oh my God.
In
Say
DC,
what?
in DC, she went back and stabbed the man, and it was the wrong man. Man didn't have nothing to do with nothing.
Are
And I
you
think
kidding me?
both of them still in jail.
Wow.
And this been several years ago. So I know. And now, if that man had died, somebody was going to jail. because they were going to say that was not the right punishment. You can't kill
Yeah.
unalive. You can't unalive somebody because of that. Okay, so I'm just
Well, that
saying they
somebody
would.
needs to not put their hands on my child.
Wait,
Well, he didn't put the hands on the child. Put a
let him
feather.
finish. Yeah.
He said, and he didn't put it on her. She said he tried to put it on her. Okay, so now if he had died, what was the defense going to be in court? He tried. Did the feather touch you? Well, no, but he tried. I'm just saying, because that would be for if that man was unalived, and now the father is in jail for a long time. Sure, he felt like he did the right thing, but guess who ain't got no daddy to raise him or to grow up with him? I'm just saying, be careful what you do to face the consequences when you think you're right and you get in that court and they found out you didn't unalive somebody because they almost did something. That's like you out there and somebody almost hit you with a car. Okay? And you get out your car, beat him. That's crazy. This man ran to the back of somebody. The man got out the car while the man was looking at his car. The man shot him in the head. So I'm not saying, of course, this man was wrong, even a senior citizen. I'm not trying to take up for him. I'm just saying it would be wise, to watch your actions, because actions have consequences. Just because you think you're right, they got consequences.
Whoo! I wasn't prepared for your story, Wayne.
Oh yeah, Jackie Conway. That was her name. Jackie Conway.
Hold on one second. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What did you say?
Her name was Jackie Conway.
Whew. Oh my God. That's crazy. Oh
It
my
really
God.
is. Yeah.
That's very sad.
Yeah, it is.
What was you gonna say?
I said, but didn't they say in the video he usually hit women on the booty with the feather?
Yeah, but they are consenting to it. But the girl did say, I'm just going to play it back before we move to the next story. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on. She did say he never touched her with it. She admitted that on video, on the news thing here. Let me see.
Tried to inappropriately touch her, and her father intervened.
Now there's a police investigation, but not into the man, into the father and daughter. As Fox 26's Dominique Keith tells us, videos of the family fighting the man are now circulating on social media.
Yeah, if you've been to Galleria Mall, you may have seen a man walking around in a flamboyant suit. Well, on Saturday, an 18-year-old girl and her father ended up on video fighting the man after the girl says he tried to touch her bottom with a feather that he carries around.
I seen him get the feathers and try to smack my butt, and I moved. I was like, and when I turned back, he stuck his tongue out. And he had put the feathers in my little sister's face.
That escalated to this here at Galleria Mall on Saturday. The video is viral on social media. 18-year-old Carnisha Jackson was shopping with her 13-year-old sister, younger brother, and her dad, as she told Fox 26's Isaiah Carey. The teen says the man who tried swatting her bottom with a feather is someone often seen walking inside Galleria Mall wearing over-the-top suits, who's known as Macaroni Tony.
I never saw him being a harm to anybody. He just walks around looking, I guess, extravagant. So,
if he's doing something inappropriate to especially female girls, of course, maybe I think any parent will get uncomfortable.
In videos Macaroni Tony has posted to social media, he can be seen rubbing women's bottoms with the feather. The teen says she's never heard of him. She says when he tried touching her with the feather, she told her dad.
My daddy pointed at his head. He's like, "Don't you touch my kid. Don't you touch my kid. Don't you touch my kids."
The 18-year-old says before customers started recording, the man grabbed her father.
I started seeing blood. As soon as I seen blood, I hurried up and ran up to the situation. I just started punching the man because he was choking my daddy from behind.
Macaroni Tony denies touching the teen with the feather.
Two young ladies walk by, a big girl and a little girl walk by, and I see them wave. I just wave myself, and I'm waving myself, feathering myself. And they walk on by. They about 15 feet away. And then when they look back, I just wave the feather like this here. And that's it. That's it. The whole thing is out of proportion. Well, me touching somebody with that feather is a damn lie.
He did not touch me. He did not. He tried to.
All right. You heard she said he did not touch me. He did not. She said
crying is good enough for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also too, can I just say this?
Yeah.
If what she's saying is true, and he just like, messed with the feather behind her or whatever the case may be, initially her saying or stop or whatever it is, the reason I feel like you deserve a beat down at this point is because now you're doing it to my sister, or you're attempting to do it to my sister. So clearly me saying stop didn't get you to stop. So this whole idea that, oh, well, she didn't say don't go to jail or you're going to go to jail because of something he tried to do. You did it twice. So the first time it's a warning, the second time it's whatever happens to you. So stop. We're not giving this man no passes. I don't care that he 82. You don't have the right to enter my space at all. I don't care if it's with a feather, your finger, or none of that. Whatever you get after that is what you get. Now I understand what you're saying, what happened with that other person, whatever the case may be, got underlined and she did it to the wrong person. But I can guarantee you that lady did not make this up. And the Galleria got 100,000 cameras. So I'm sure they caught it on camera, whatever happened.
Well, a lot of people have it on camera though, Nikki, but not only that, she kind of doomed herself right there on the news, right? On the news, she clearly said, he didn't touch me.
But you're in my space. So I just feel like if you didn't touch me with whatever you didn't touch me with, but you're in my space and I say stop, which is what she said she did. Now, unless she just lying, and she could be making it up or exaggerating or whatever the case may be. I'm just saying, me personally, after I say stop or don't do that, then you need to move along. And the fact that you're doing it now to my younger sister, we really got a problem at this point. So I feel like at that point, if you aren't adult enough to say, okay, well, this isn't wise, despite the fact that it sounds like he walks around and, does this at the Galleria to other people or whatever the case may be, and they're fine with it. You shouldn't be doing this to children or to the girl's 18. I don't know how old her sister is or whatever, but I just feel like once I tell you to stop, that's the warning shot, like to me. So
I hear you. The Don, you're in the building. What are your thoughts on Macaroni Tony? They beat him down.
Lock me up and throw away the key. Let me tell you something.
Amen.
If my daughter comes back to me and tell me that an old pervert has come to her and try to swipe anything of her, I'm beating the down. Period.
Amen.
Come on, the Don, and then with the chill.
You ain't no explaining, ain't no I didn't mean it, ain't no nothing. When we get to court and I got the handcuffs on me, then you can explain yourself. I got some bond money, but it ain't no chances with me. I don't play those games.
He's lucky it's only one side of his face that's swollen. That's luck, because they could have made sure the other side too. So
exactly.
He's lucky he's alive.
I'm almost leaning towards the Galleria Mall has some responsibility in this, because it seems as if the patrons, the shoppers, he's not unfamiliar to this mall or the shoppers. So he's been going around doing this, it appears like, for a minute. And they've been allowing the behavior. And I think, he took it too far with the teenagers. But I just keep going back to the fact that even the girl said, no, he didn't touch me. So I'm just checking. Now we getting beat downs for looks and possibilities?
No, it's because you're in my space. Don't enter my space and we good. That's the reason you're getting beat down.
Point blank, period.
But Diva, you can't even pretend to even swipe my daughter's bottom. And then to even look back at her younger sister and lick his tongue out like you even thought about doing it. No, sir. No. That I'm getting heated at the thought of you thinking about nigga. Excuse me. No.
All right. Macaroni Tony. Only a few of us up here are saving you, but I will say this though: the cops is looking for the daughter and the dad.
For what?
Not Macaroni Tony because
they assaulted him.
Cause you can't just. I understand everybody's feelings on the situation,
Mm-hmm.
but this man did not touch the girl. It's like when men do cat calls to women if they walking by. I'm not saying
That's
that is
sexual
right.
harassment.
Yeah.
A catcall is sexual harassment, Diva.
Right.
Oh, this is a lot.
It is.
Can
It is.
I say
Hold
one
on
thing,
one second.
Diva?
Hold on one second. Nubian, thank you for the super chat. If the mall is not paying him to be there, the mall should have gotten rid of him. Nubian, I agree with you on that, right? Because see, this what happens when they let little things that they think is funny go. It gets to the boiling point and the bubble pops, and it's now like, now what?
Mm-hmm.
Now you could be suing the mall. You could sue because the man is known. The man is known because you heard the people outside saying, I usually see him just wearing his suits. He doesn't seem like he ever harmed anybody. But again, you saw the woman's husband said, but if he was messing with somebody's kids, it's a little problematic.
Yeah.
And do I agree he should know like an adult from a kid? Yeah. But again, I have to say he kept his hands to himself. They didn't even just try to talk to him. They beat him down.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we have to not even split this down the middle because most people on the side.
No, Diva, they said they tried to talk to him. You remember the little girl said her daddy said, "Don't you touch my kids."
Now, yeah, and the girl said that before people started filming, Macaroni Tony was choking up her dad. Can you picture Macaroni Tony choking up her dad?
But
Now,
Diva,
she need
would
to
you
stop.
feel
She put in 20 on 10. She said before they started filming, Macaroni Tony was choking up her dad, and then she saw blood. Well, we only seen Macaroni Tony all beat down.
But Diva, do you think you feel this way because of his age? Like if he was
No.
25 years old doing the same thing, would you have all this empathy? Or if
Listen,
it was
you
your
know what?
child
I'm
that
gonna
this
be
happened
honest
to,
with
would you
you.
have this much, let's see, well, he didn't touch her. Would you be feeling that way if that was your child?
Listen, all this is my feelings on it. My feelings on it is the mall has to own some of this responsibility because they apparently allow this man to do this in the mall on a regular basis because the people know him, right? So that's one piece of it. Piece number two, I feel a little bad because he's 73. I feel like this show that he thinks he's doing in the mall is keeping him alive because it's giving him something to do. This is just my guess. And you saw the one woman that was sitting there, having fun with Macaroni Tony. He was swiping his feather and she was just, jamming with him, right?
Okay, then she should go to a room with him and not allow him to be with other people in these streets. I understand that you're saying that, oh, he's 75 and this gives him something to do. Well, when you're 75 years old, there's other things that you can do. And those things are you could go count coupons, you can go play bingo, you can go do so many other things. You can volunteer at a local hospital, you can go read books to children. Oh, actually, no, he does not need to read books to children. Nope, not him. But there's so many other things that you could be doing. But instead, you choose out of the time of your day to walk into Galleria Mall and take your nasty feathers and start swiping it at people. Absolutely not, Diva. Absolutely not. You are 75 years old, not 15, not 25. 75, if you have nothing else to do and you're at the end of your life, commit yourself to a nursing home. I'm tired of this nonsense. I have no sympathy. I have no sympathy for anyone who wants to try to do those little things with children. No, this is disgusting behavior. This is disgusting behavior. Don't do that thing. Certain innuendos and certain lewd behavior it should not be with children. Absolutely not. Don't touch kids. He got what he wanted. He asked for it. Now let him suffer. He's the one who's gonna have to take his medication, his lidocaine, and with so much. Let him. Let the geriatric fool take it.
So Sebastian,
No,
did you
and
see him
man,
do it? Sebastian, did you see him do it?
No, but
Oh, I didn't think so. Did anybody see him do it?
No.
I'm not
He
taking up for the
attempted
man.
to.
I'm not
He
taking up for the
attempted
man.
to.
I'm just saying that
He attempted to. He
But
Well,
go ahead,
attempted
let
to.
Wayne speak.
that's what she said. He said he didn't do it. So it's his word against theirs. So guess what? You end up in court. You'd be a damn fool to attack somebody and end up spending the rest of your life in jail. And when you spend the rest of your life in jail, you're gonna look back and say, "Oh my God, I shouldn't have done that."
He attempted to.
Let
He
me
Wayne,
let
do
me
you
attempted.
ask
know?
you. Let me
Do
ask
you
you all
know how
this.
many
Let me
people
ask you all
Okay, wait,
have
hold
this.
on,
been
hold on, hold on,
charged
I'm
hold
gonna
on.
ask you
Go
all
ahead,
this.
Devon. Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you all this. As a father, when your daughter approaches you and say, "A man did this to me," what is your reaction? We're just going to ignore that today. Let's go to Rainbow and get you a gift. Or
No,
is your
Diwali.
reaction, or is your reaction, let me find him.
Mm-hmm.
That's my reaction. Let me find him and find out what the is going on. And if he gives me not the right answer, it's gonna be some problems.
And you're gonna end up in jail behind bars.
And I'm gonna end up in jail.
But if you're
Well,
fine
Kim
with
K will
that,
bail
I
you out.
understand. If you're fine
Okay.
with that, that's good. I
Okay, so
got two
Because
grown
my
children
hold on one
and
second, guys.
grandchildren.
because my lot in life is to defend my daughter. And it's never okay for a man to even pretend to put his hands on her.
Well, if your lot is to defend your daughter, it seemed to me that you would go through the judicial process to try to get it straight. So it's no question where you're gonna be spending your time at, whether you're gonna be spending it behind bars or you're gonna be spending it on the street.
Well, if it's okay for a man to touch your daughter, then let your lot be that.
No, it's not okay. I'm not saying any of it's okay. I'm just saying that he said he didn't, she said he did.
Well, she said he did. Aren't we supposed to believe the victims?
No, hold on, hold on,
Yeah,
hold
we'll
on,
have
hold
to
on,
I'm
believe
not,
all
hold on
women.
one
yeah,
second.
like I just
She
said. Did you
said,
hear me
hold
tell
on
the
one
story
second. Let
about?
me throw this out there. Hold on one second. She even said he didn't touch me. He attempted to. Then he attempted to put the feather in my sister's 13-year-old sister's face, and then he stuck his tongue out. Emmanuel said, Diva, I just saw the video of the beat down. It was 4 of them beating on him. It was too much. They jumped him.
Can I say something real quick, Diva?
Yes.
Um, I understand what you saying, Diva, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but this is look, you know, he was, provoking when he stick his tongue out and when he stuck his tongue out, he was provoking. And like I said, I respect your opinion, everybody else's, but this is how I feel. He deserved that beat down. Okay. And so he know not to do that again because pretty. Did you hear me?
Yeah.
It shifted again. No, what I was trying to say is that he stick his tongue out and he was provoking, and so he deserved that beat down. You know,
All right, we're
ho-
gonna call it. We're gonna call it
yeah,
agree to disagree on
yeah,
this
I want to say
yeah.
situation.
something
We,
real
yeah,
quick,
I respect, I respect
I
you.
know you do.
I
I know you do.
respect
Listen,
you.
everybody can
Yeah,
have their opinion. I'm okay with that. I understand everybody's
yeah.
side. We're just gonna we came
But
to the middle road here and we all gotta agree to disagree. And I'm gonna move to the next topic. Who wanted to say something before I
I,
moved on?
I
I
want to
could.
say one thing to
I
Um,
do. I do. I
can I
do.
say?
Wait,
Nikki.
let Denzel finish. 60
Oh,
Yeah.
seconds. I gotta move
okay.
past
Okay.
Macaroni Tony. Go
Okay,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Diva. I'm sorry. Um, but no. He's gonna do that to the wrong person. Hopefully, he would do not do that. But if he do that to the wrong person, it's gonna be ugly,
Well, it was already ugly. He's beat
right?
down. You know what I would say this. If he has the nerve to go back in the mall with that same show again, then he's a little off. I would not, but I would not go back in the mall with that show again. Um, but I feel a little. No, I'm leaving it. I'm leaving it alone. I'm leaving Macaroni Tony alone. Sebastian, 60 seconds.
60 seconds. Okay, I want to say
Nikki, I'm
this.
coming to you. Go ahead.
Everyone
60
who's
seconds, Sebastian.
saying, okay, this message goes to everyone who's saying, someone asked if it was my grandfather, how would I feel? And I know Emmanuel brought up the Emmett Till thing. Number one, if it was my grandfather, how would I feel? First of all, my grandfather's a good person. He would never be taking feathers and going to touch at young girls. But if he were to do that, obviously he has to expect the blowback for his actions. So therefore, if he were to get beaten up, I could care less. The thing is, y'all need to stop looking at the results, the consequences of people's actions, and look at the root cause. If you never had your feather and did this for a career, then did this little thing that you were doing to make whatever you were doing, you would have never even gotten beaten up in the first place. You would have
All
never
right,
gotten beaten up
Sebastian.
in the
Thank
first
you,
place.
Sebastian.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, thank you, Sebastian. Nikki, 60 seconds, please. I'm done with Macaroni Tony.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of rebuttal what Wayne was saying about, you're going to end up in jail because the person didn't touch you. And I think he was asking Sebastian, did you see it? Did you see it? Did you see it? And I just want to propose this to you, Mr. Wayne. There is plenty of people who go to court with the he said, she said. Almost all essays are two people and nobody else saw it. So you can't use this, well, nobody see it, you weren't there. Well, then nobody should ever go to court and say, hey, I was art or I was sexually essay
Okay,
because
Vicky,
nobody else saw
I
it.
gotta stop you to move on because here's the thing with this particular case, and I don't want to go off or far with other cases. With this particular case, this girl on the news. So she screwed herself, and that's why right now the cops is looking for daddy and daughter. She screwed herself because she said out of her own mouth, he never touched me with the feather. He did not. He said he didn't touch her with the feather. Macaroni Tony said it's being blown out of proportion. The girl, the victim, said out of her own mouth that Macaroni Tony never touched her with the feather. She said it. So it's not, we don't need the video. We don't need the footage. We don't need the more cameras to be taken down and analyzed. She said out of her own mouth, he never touched me with the feather. He attempted to, and I told him to stop. Okay. Then she said he licked out the tongue, tried to swing this feather in my little sister's face, and then I called daddy. Okay. So she didn't get touched. The feather didn't touch her. His hands didn't touch her. Okay. He stuck out his tongue, and boom, 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 boom. So in her particular case, now we got to deal with things case by case. But in her particular case, all they need is the news footage. And that's why sometimes, everybody wants to get to talking to the people. When they stick a mic in the face, they get to talking. Shut your mouth until you speak to your lawyer. Because now, any lawyer he gets, they're going to pull the footage and say, baby girl said out of her own mouth, he never physically touched her. Now we got to move on. Macaroni Tony. I believe I put the clip in the description box there. Y'all want to look more into that? Y'all look more into it, but we got to move past Macaroni Tony. Everybody just mute yourself.
I'm just holding out hope. I'm like hoping that
Oh, I'm sorry. Was you trying to say something, Robin? Okay, maybe not. Okay. All right. So everybody just mute yourself. I'm moving on to the next story. Macaroni Tony, we wish you well. Young lady, the dad, and all the 99 people that y'all got to beat Macaroni Tony down. We wish you well too. All right, let's move on. So our next story here is, I don't know, I don't understand the anger and the hate in some of these teenagers. I really don't. It's confusing me what's going on with the teenagers. Teenagers are on the train. They're mocking an Asian family. And here's the stupidity of anybody now that thinks they're going to do something in public and it not be recorded. And you got to be, something got to be going on in your head, right? So when the teenager finds out that someone else on the train is recording her, she goes to get to beat up the person that's recorded. This girl's a mess. Let's get into this next story. Teenager going wild. That's what I'm going to call her. Teenager going wild. Let's share this screen here. So, and now the popo's looking for her. Okay. So video NYPD looking for teens in possible subway hate crime. They attack against an Asian family. I'm gonna go right ahead to the news story. So let's see if we can play this. I hope I queued it up right. Hold on, let's listen to this story.
City subway. The NYPD is investigating it as a possible hate crime. CBS News' John Diaz now has more on how the victims are reacting.
What started off as pointing and laughing quickly turned into something more violent. And now these two victims are hoping that their attacker is caught quickly.
My glasses got broken. I've had headache for a couple of days now because the hair was pulled, and so my scalp was very tender.
Sue Young knows her physical injuries will heal, but the emotional scarring behind what happened to her last Thursday won't quickly fade away.
It was just insults after insults after insults.
Those insults, Young says, came from this woman and her friends, while all of them were riding on an F train. Police say they were making anti-ethnic references toward Young and her family, who were visiting from Nevada.
And finally, my husband felt like he needed to step in, and so he started saying, can you use some other words besides those?
She says after the girls realized they were being recorded by another passenger, Joanna Lynn, and one of them started attacking her.
She ran over, grabbed me by the hair, threw me on the ground, and started punching me several times.
Young couldn't stand to see Lynn getting attacked, so she says she got up and pushed one of the girls out of the way. Then that same teen attacked her. The Hate Crimes Task Force has now taken over this investigation. According to the NYPD, anti-Asian hate crimes are down significantly this year, from 64 in 2022 to 30 this year. Joanne Yo is president of the Asian American Federation, which started its Hope Against Hate initiative, promoting situational awareness against hate.
I think it's so great to see so many young people, non-Asian, stepping up because they understand the shared commitment we have to making sure that everybody is safe.
And we're told that bystanders helped these two women get to safety after this attack. From Greenwich Village, John Diaz, CBS.
Okay, so let me see, because I want to say there's a picture. I gotta go maybe to the other one. They show another close-up picture with this girl, that they're looking for. It's a shame. I don't know what's going on. What the heck is going on in your mind and your life that the best you got is you're on the train and you're wilding out. So that's the main girl. There was other girls with her, but this is the one that was the aggressor. Okay. And the family, give it up to the Asian family, because there was a stop where she could have got off the train, but she was trying to talk to the girl to see what was going on with the girl. Why are you doing this? Right. And she ended up staying on the train. And even to this day, she wants to talk to the girl to see what is going on. Why did you do this? And why are you doing this? I mean, I want to say her name is Sue Young. God bless her. God bless her. Because literally she is still all her family went through, and she was with her twin daughters and her husband. And her husband was like, yo, y'all need to stop. But she was trying to, calm the girl down and be like, why are you doing this? What is going on? This is crazy. I don't understand it. It's insane. I was on a date with a dude who was mocking the Chinese chef while waiting for our food. I had told him that I don't like it when someone who would mock anyone who's preparing my food. It's just, I don't know. As they say, hurting people, hurt people want to hurt people. Yeah, but now that girl ruined her life, she's a fool, and her face is everywhere now. There's a lot of racism towards Asian people. There's a lot of racism, period. It's just insane. I don't know. I'll start up with E. E, what are your thoughts? Are you still there?
I'm sorry. Did you say me?
I said E. I was starting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna skip E because I don't hear her responding back. Dustin, what are your thoughts? Is no one hearing me today? All right, Nikki, you're up. What are your thoughts?
You.
Okay, what are your thoughts, Nikki?
I just think it's all disgusting. I don't like I truly don't understand how you just hate someone simply because of their features,
Yeah.
simply because of where they come from, simply because of, outwardly things that they have no control over. Like you
Right.
can't choose who your mom, your dad is, what your nose gonna look like, what your hair gonna look like. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just kind of like, I don't understand and then also I don't understand the gang up. So if you so bad, why we need to be rolling in packs? Like if you really about that life, come along, step to me by yourself. But the fact that I don't know. I do not, and I probably will never understand hatred, especially when it's not provoked. I haven't done anything to you. I'm minding my business. I don't like a bully. I think we had that conversation a few times. So I hope all of them go to jail.
Yeah, yeah, they need to go to a juvenile detention center. They got a lot to learn. And listen, they definitely gonna catch Sister Girl because her face is clear as day. And there were more videos. There were more videos I could have played that just showing the girl just acting a fool, acting a straight fool. Sebastian, what are your thoughts?
Can you hear me correctly? Well,
Yes, I can.
okay. Asian hate crimes have always been a thing within this country, and it's never talked about as much as compared to other hate crimes. During the pandemic, it spiked a lot.
Yes,
It
it
spiked a
did.
lot. It spiked a lot during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I personally have witnessed an Asian hate crime before. It was the most craziest thing ever. Literally, it was at a Chinese food restaurant in Manhattan, and the guy was spat on, and then they threw the money at him, and they took water and threw at him too, and they started punching him. I felt so bad. And then whenever I go back home and visit that restaurant, that guy looks at me completely well. He loves me because I helped him afterwards. But Asians have experienced a lot of hate crimes in this country, and it's not talked about as much. I'm glad that this was on footage because, mind you, sometimes people don't record these things. Sometimes people are just bystanders and just sit there and watch at it happening. We never really accept the fact that these teenagers are out of control. Teenagers have been out of control for a while, ever since the lockdowns. For some reason, maybe they did not were able to grow up while they were locked in, because now we're in their streets, they're acting like monkeys. I'm sorry, and I know some people are gonna say that's a little too excessive. It's the truth. These teenagers are not acting correctly. They're not behaving accordingly. I can't with them anymore. Now they need to suffer the consequences. And I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, juvies, they don't need to do juvie." Yes, they need to go to juvie. They do need to go to juvenile prison. Because when you want to do grown things, you want to think that you're grown and put hands on people for just being a certain type of way, you need to be treated like you're grown. You need to be treated like you're grown. I'm tired of this nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know. We got to stay connected to the story. H50 said a blogger who initials are CR was making fun of Asian people, really, saying ching chong ching. I couldn't believe it.
People don't say that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what she wrote.
Yes, I called the teenagers monkeys. Yes, I called the erratic, unbehaved, these children who can't behave in these streets anymore monkeys. Yes, I acknowledge it. It's not the opinion of the Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva nor anyone else on this train. It is the opinion of me. I said these children are acting like monkeys now. Yes.
All right, let's continue here. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that they should find them and they should lock them up.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to lock them up. I think they're looking for the main girl is aggressive was the black girl with the braids in her hair. She was the main aggressor. The other girls was saying stuff. But that one right there is woo, she's angry about something. She's angry. Wayne, what are your thoughts?
I agree. They need to go to juvenile, do something. They need to learn that this is not what you do to people. And in fact, and on the when I didn't notice the not unless I'm just oblivious to it, but I didn't notice anything about the attack on the Asians until the ex-president started telling them the kung fu virus, and then they started attacking Asian people. Okay, But yeah, they need some consequences. But you know what? Kids don't just grow up like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Kids don't grow up like that. I hate to see their home. I hate to
Yeah.
see their mom and their papa, because the fruit don't fall too far from the tree.
Mm-hmm.
But if she
Mm-hmm.
keep it up, she gonna run up on the wrong Asian. She gonna run up on the wrong black person. She gonna run up on the wrong person who she think ain't gonna do nothing. And she
Yeah.
better hope she don't get unalived. And it
Yeah.
would be it's nonsense that you would act like that and put yourself in a position that would cause harm to you.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe after she's gone away for about a year and then get a little probation and do some community service in
Mm-hmm.
the Asian community, maybe she'll wake up. Maybe this will be a teaching moment for her.
And can I
Because the
tell
path
you,
she's
that's
going
what
down.
that mother wanted to do, Wayne. She was very brave. Because like I said, there was a stop on the train. I didn't read the whole article to y'all, but there was a stop on the train where she could have got off because they asked her, why didn't you get off? Right. And she said she didn't get off because she really was trying to like talk to the girl, because first the girls were mocking them. And so the way the mother tried to handle it was just to laugh it off. But when she started to laugh, that made them even angry. And I'm saying them, but it really made the girl with the braids a little really angry. And that's when things got worse. And then when when she noticed they was being filmed, it got even crazier. And so the girl went to attack another person that was filming it. And that's when the mom said she had to get up and she had to intervene, because it was like, this girl saving me, she filming it, and now she's getting beat up, so I gotta go help her out. It was just very crazy and sad. But even when you saw her on the news, she still had a good like disposition and attitude about it, so to speak, because it wasn't like she was like, oh, I can't wait, go get them, lock them up. She was still trying to find out like what is going on with this girl that she would even do this to anyone.
Did you see, and I don't know if it's New York or whatever, it was a few years ago. This black girl, young girl, she was on the bus and she kept on saying something to the bus driver. He was ignoring her. She was running her mouth, calling him all this. He just ignored her until she got up and spit in his face. He got up out that seat and cold cocked her to the ground. And the people on the bus, oh, she's a lady. She wasn't no damn lady. I know people say, oh, you don't put your hands on a woman. Well, she got just what she deserved. She wrote a check that her mouth couldn't cash.
All right.
Now, he shouldn't have done it. He shouldn't have done it because he hit her. But that's what happened.
Wayne, I
He
agree
probably
with you
went to jail.
100%. I agree with you 100%. When you want to be a lady,
Spitting in the face is a lot, but hold on one second, guys, because we have a new one in the building here. First time he's seeing you. Is that Chaotic Truth? Welcome into the building. What would you like to add to this conversation?
Well, I just happened to be perusing the streets of YouTube. I just got done doing a live stream, and I saw that the Tory Lanez was in your title, and I literally just tuned in. I don't even know what you guys are talking about now. Well, I know about that story from Cleveland with the bus driver, but that's about as much as I've heard. But I don't know if you guys are talking about Tory Lanez, or is it?
We didn't get to Tory Lanez yet. We're getting there. We'll get there. We was talking about a young lady that unfortunately did a hate crime on a train in the city, and was assaulting pretty much an Asian family, and now the police are looking for her.
Yeah, so this must be a black girl that was doing it.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, I've done many shows on my channel about Asian hate that is perpetuated generally by Negroes. And of course, this is not systemic amongst blacks. Of course, every black isn't doing it. But I feel like a lot of times, when you see the Asians, they're very, when they're in America, they're typically, and gray hair diva, do you allow freedom of speech over here? As long as I'm not cursing?
Yes.
Okay. Typically when you see the Asian, typically they look docile. Some of them are very small. A lot of the attacks that I believe that happen is because you have a lot of unchecked Negro behavior. And this behavior is unchecked because you have the media that always victimizes Black behavior. Tell me if I'm talking too crazy, gray hair diva. Okay.
I'm gonna let you speak.
Okay.
I'm clutching my pearls. But
You
I'm gonna
have
let
a
you
lot
speak.
of
Negro?
elite. You have a
Okay.
lot of elite boule Blacks, such as ourselves, who give every excuse in the book for this behavior. So these Blacks that attack these poor innocent Asians are pretty much greenlit by the community. They're never checked. And so these attacks are going to continue to happen until we start shaming degenerate Black culture, So what has happened here is that you have New York, which has a Black mayor, a Black police chief. Blacks typically are running the government there. They are refusing to say, hey, we have a problem here, and it is being perpetuated by the Black, not community, but the perpetrators are Black. They need to openly address this as a problem, a racial problem. And they say, we're going to fight this because if it was the other way around, you would want whites to fight for you. If it was the other way around, just like you have in Black Lives Matter or other organizations, white liberals are fighting for Blacks when supposed racism happens. So we need to do the same thing with the Asians. Hey, man, stop messing with these people. Stop this hatred towards these people. These people have done nothing to you. These people are generally peaceful. And I think a lot of it has to do, gray hair diva, also with jealousy. These people come to the country. They typically are the highest earners. They typically dibble and dabble in every avenue of industry. And I think a lot of it, the hatred is jealousy. So this girl, she needs to be shamed to the umpth degree. Hopefully that broaches the topic. Go ahead. You got the floor.
Don, do you want to make a comment?
Go ahead.
Yes. Shoot, I almost lost my train of thought. Okay. So what I think is this young lady needs to have some diversity in her friendships. And I think it starts with her parents. Like as kids, parents, we need to start introducing our kids to people outside of their culture. We need to start sending them to camps with other kids with different cultural backgrounds, maybe getting on them outside of the neighborhoods that they're in, just something that is not just within their cultural background. They need to know other people that they can figure out, just what they are, what their people are, so nothing like this happens on a regular basis, because if they knew more, they would do better. And I just think that's important. And these young people are not afraid of adults anymore. I think my generation, and I'll be 40. How old would I be? 41 this year, next month. I think my generation was the last generation that had some fear of adults. And I think this generation now they just don't care about adults. Like an adult can say something to a child and they'll just look at them and cuss you. They'll just cuss you out and just keep moving. Like it's just no fear at all. And I think that's a problem now. They just don't fear adults. There's no authority with adults anymore. And that's a huge problem.
I agree with you, right? So it's a mixture. I think it's a mixture of things here. as the Don said, when it comes to this particular situation, I also think that there's a lot going on, has to be in this girl's life and in her home. Because for you to just get on a train and to just randomly want to pick on somebody like that, and to have so much anger in you, that someone's filming you and you want to jump up and get ready to beat them down. You got a lot of dynamics going on. And somebody said public school. Here's the thing about public school. So I'm a mixed bag. I'm a mixed bag in terms of I went to public school, I went to Catholic schools growing up. And the difference with a public school and a Catholic school, in a public school, you can only go to the public school that is in your neighborhood. You can't just wake up and say, I want to go to the public school over in that town, this town, or whatever. It's in your district. If the public school is in your district, that's the public school you have to go to. And that's a point blank in a period. We have seen many people go to jail because they lied and said they lived at grandma's house or auntie's house or a friend's house because they wanted to get their kid in a better public school, right? And so the only option at that point is sometimes it's the charter schools, but I don't want to go that too far off the train track. But then the only other option after that would be to send your kid to a Catholic school. And then at Catholic school, 1 second, please, Dustin. And at Catholic schools, you definitely will get a mixed bag because you're getting people that come from all economic backgrounds, all different neighborhoods, definitely all different cultures or whatever.
Different races,
different cultures, all of that, right? So let's do this here, right? I know a lot of people got a little sensitive. We're used to our same people coming up, right? Look, a lot of people get a little sensitive to the words. Let's hold on 1 second, right? Because one thing we like to do here in a respectful way is allow everybody to have their say, have their opinion. And remember here, we say, don't catch feelings, catch the train. So attack the conversation, not the individual, right? So let's talk about the conversation because that's going to get us somewhere versus maybe trying to attack an individual. Is everybody with me on that?
Yes.
Who did I not allow? Give me a minute. Who did I not allow to speak on this situation with the girl on the train?
I was on mute, so I like to speak now.
Go ahead.
I agree with everything that everybody's saying, especially the one that said about the schools. You have to be in a certain district in a public school, and sometimes the public schools they're not very nice to people. You have to be very careful with the public school and a private school, Diva. And that's all I was going to say. And
hey, Diva, come back to me too.
The what? In my opinion.
No, go ahead. Finish, Dustin.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying that I agree with everything that's being said on this panel tonight. And sorry, I was on mute when you called me, so I was wanting to try to get in now. And
you're fine.
Welcome to the newcomer. I don't know what his name is, but welcome anyway.
Okay.
Hopefully we're doing the panel.
Yes, thank you. Anybody else that did not speak yet on this subject that needs to speak?
I haven't either.
Okay, go ahead, Denzel.
Okay. Okay. If Diva, if I say something wrong, tell me to stop. If I say something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna keep it real, and some people might not like it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just keeping it real. People don't have to agree with my opinion. We can, agree to disagree.
Just say it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Am I being long-winded?
No. I just want you to say because I still have another subject to introduce. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Really? Okay. It was that StreamYard acting up. I'm gonna make it quick, Diva.
Mm-hmm.
What people need to realize is that that different nationalities is going to have different nationalities going to have somebody that is being racist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so The point I'm saying is some of our people can be racist. Yeah, that I said it. Not to you, Diva. I'm not to you.
You're
No,
fine.
some of our people can be racist. Any nationality, it's going to have different nationalities that is going to be racist. And we all need to come together because that's what God wants us to do. He wants us to come all together and just treat people respectfully. And so shame on that girl. Shame on that girl. But you know what? She probably got taught at home. So these parents, they need to teach their children not to hate people. And I'm sorry that happened to the lady and her family. I'm sorry that happened. What people need to understand, we got to do better. We got to do better. This is 2023. We need to do better. I'm sorry, Diva.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And I do agree with you, right? We got to do better, right? We got.
Can I say one thing?
Give me 1 second, Nikki.
Okay.
We got to learn to love each other and just learn to get along. And it's going to be a lot of things that's going on with that. And I did not want to address this tonight because I just got to get my energy ready with the whole Montgomery, Alabama, and the brawl that happened, out there over the weekend, because it was a lot and it's a lot to break down and dissect. And I just couldn't do it tonight, but maybe we'll speak about it another night. Nikki, before you talk, let me just go ahead and introduce the Tory Lanez story, right? So Tory Lanez, there was a situation with him and Megan Thee Stallion, right? And Pow Pow was involved, but not just a Pow Pow being involved. Tory Lanez was not unfamiliar to the law, so to speak, and to being on probation and to knowing what he should not and should have had in his possession before this situation even happened, right? And so it's like, ignorance of the law is not an excuse, and you can't keep bumping your head up against the same wall as an adult and not expect some consequences to come your way. So he's fortunate that Megan Thee Stallion is alive, but it happened and he was waiting for his sentence. Megan Thee Stallion wanted the judge to throw the book at him. He was facing up to 22 years and they came somewhere in the middle. He got 10 in a state prison. And I do believe, he also apologized to her. But I also do believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's a huge possibility that once he's finished serving, they can deport him, right? So it's a lot going on. There's some people like, yeah, he got what he deserved. And I'm not here to say whether he got what he deserved or not. I am here to say this, that there are some people that done some more heinous crimes and did not get 10 years. That's all I'm gonna throw out as we go around to the conversation. So since our guests came in to speak about this particular subject, I'm gonna let you go ahead and speak, and then I'll go around to all of our homegrown people that are always here. So Chaotic Truth, you can go ahead and speak.
Am I not gonna?
Gray haired diva, salute to you. And this is my first time coming over here. And salute to the panel in the chat. I'm a former school teacher in the inner city. I also have worked in law enforcement. Well, technically the courts. I was a probation officer. It was my first job out of college. It was a crappy job. I hated it. And I don't want to be too long-winded, gray-haired diva, but what I'm going to say is this, and this comes from the depth of my heart. The Black man is a very violent creature. The Black man lacks impulse control.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did my existence cut somebody off? I'm sorry. I was trying to finish. Let me finish real quick and I'll be done. I talked about this the other day on one of my live streams. The most dangerous Blacks are the short, dark ones. They're upset about their height.
Can we not with this hate talk, please? I can't. This is
I
ridiculous. You don't know. First of all, you don't know all black men. Let's just be very, very
I didn't
clear.
even get a chance to
It
finish.
doesn't matter.
Gray
I'm
hair
not going
diva,
to
may I
allow you to
finish,
sit on
please?
here and spew hate
Gray hair,
as if you know, as if
Gray
you're
hair
informed
diva,
enough
may I finish,
to
please?
know all black men. I know
I
that
didn't
for
cut
sure.
anybody off, Gray
You're
hair diva.
one
This is my first
person.
time up here. I
I'm
thought
gonna
this was
just let
freedom
me
of
just
speech
keep it
over
100
here.
with you. What
I
you're not
thought
gonna
this
do
was,
is sit on this
I thought
channel
this was freedom
and
of
talk
speech over here,
about all
Gray hair
black
diva.
people
I thought
or
this was
all
freedom of
black
speech,
men
Gray hair
Okay,
diva.
like you know what
so
you're talking
right.
about. You
Gray
don't.
hair diva.
Nick,
I thought this
You're
okay,
was
being
okay, so
I
very
did
Nikki,
ask
you're
you.
Nick,
generalizing
I
everything.
did ask
I
you,
We're
know,
Gray
not
hair
doing
Nikki,
diva.
that.
okay,
Sorry. Okay. So
okay,
Gray hair
We're
diva.
not
Nikki,
doing
let's
that. We're
give
not going
him,
to
Should I?
generalize all
Should
black
Nikki,
men.
I won't
You
take
have
a
no
long
empirical
time.
data that you're talking about.
Okay,
Nick says who?
right.
What empirical data have you researched?
Okay, so
Please
Nikki,
don't.
hold on, Nikki,
I
hold
can't.
on 1 second,
This is
Nikki.
nonsense.
I
We're
was
not going to sit
about
up
to
here and
land
act
the
like this
plane,
ain't
Gray
Nikki,
hair
stop.
diva.
This
I
is
didn't know.
Diva's
Okay, but
panel.
hold
Stop,
on 1 second.
Nikki.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second, guys. We'll give him a few minutes.
You just need me just one more minute. That's all
Go
I
ahead
need.
to say what he has to say, and
Yeah.
then we'll all talk. Okay, go
I
ahead.
worked as a probation officer. I worked in schools, and I can tell you that the black man lacks impulse control. Not all black men, of course. I mean, my God, there are a lot of black men who are in almost every facet of industry, but vast numbers of black men are very violent and dangerous. And I really believe that is hindering our culture, not just in America, but pan African culture. It is hindering our civilization from surpassing the Western civilization.
ignorance is hindering our
I would love
civilization,
to
not
finish.
black people.
Wait,
Stop
I
it.
would love to
Nikki,
finish.
Nikki,
I
you
was
gotta
almost
give
done.
me a minute.
I would love to finish.
Give me a minute, Nikki. Listen, we all don't agree over here.
Yeah, I would love to finish.
We hold on 1 second, Chaotic
Thank you.
Truth.
Mhm.
We all don't agree. We do not have to agree with not a word that is coming out of his mouth. But see, what we got to understand is there's different people that exist in the world. And if we don't hear it one way, we will hear it another. All I'm saying is, let's hear what he's saying and we can move on from there. You don't have to, people can call you any name in the world they want. I'm not saying he's calling us names, but you don't have to answer to it. We don't have to subscribe to it. We don't have to believe it. Let's hear the words that he's saying. Yeah. So go ahead, Chaotic Truth. Please, nobody else, so I don't have to give another speech.
Thank you.
Okay,
when I was a teacher, the black kids, especially the black boys and the darker ones, they were unable to de-escalate. They were unable to use rationale and logic. Even when I was a probation officer, my most violent clients, the ones who didn't want to go to their drug testing, didn't want to do what the court had requested them to do, were typically your darker, black, short men. Even when it comes to violent crime, black men make up 6% of the US population. And if you want to talk about data, commit over half of the violent crimes in America. How do I know that? I have a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. I've studied this. I've worked in the courts. You have all types of data that suggests this. I literally have been in the prisons and worked in the prisons. So you can clearly see who's in the penitentiary. Typically, it is black men, and typically it is some short little black dude. And now, mind you, I'm short as well. So I'm talking about my own people, because that's what I have seen. And not just in America, abroad. So here goes Tory Lanez. And I'm going to land the plane, gray hair David. Thank you so much. Tory Lanez. He's a Canadian, but he's still a short little black dude. And he has that DNA to be violent. He's upset about his height. He's upset about his position in life. Supposedly he's an award-winning singer. But there are things about him that he doesn't like about himself. So he takes it out on the world. That's why he shot Meg Thee Stallion. And on that note, thank you so much, Gray Hair Diva, for at least hearing me out. I know you don't agree with me, but thank you so much for hearing me out. It's just my opinion and my perspective. I could be wrong. You guys could be right. But this is just what I see. Thank you so much, Gray Hair Diva.
So I want to say this to you, Chaotic Truth, before I
Yes,
let
ma'am.
anyone speak. I hear the words that are coming out of your mouth. I do, right? And I will say this. On a different road, I do understand what you are saying. I think the way that is coming out, it rises the temperature in everybody, and it is sounding extremely like problematic, right? But if you look at the statistics of who's in jail and what they look like, I understand where you're coming from, right? Because typically we never get a jury of our peers. That's number one, right? Because our peers don't want to do jury duty. And so when you have a young, Black male, and then you have a Black male who is of a darker complexion, it becomes even more problematic when those individuals appear in the court and appear before a judge and appear before a jury. Do I think that that means that all of them, necessarily have, problems with self? And do I think that all of them that are short have, the short man complex and all of that? And do I think that that equates to all of them having all of these traits as such just because they look a certain way? I don't think so. But that's just my thought process, right? So I think that, and this is just my opinion to you, I think that you have a conversation that could probably be heard a little bit better and go in a different direction if maybe the language you use would not be so triggering to the many people that you are speaking to. That's just my thought process, right? Because I'm hearing something that I think can lead to a greater conversation, but I think when we talk to people, we can cut off our conversation if they hear one word that's going to block and stop them from hearing a greater message. So that's just my message to you. This is my first time seeing you and meeting you. So I would say that I feel like, if I don't know what your what you want to do and where you want to go and like with the message you're trying to get across, but I just feel like if you really want to have a greater conversation and have some change in there, I would suggest, me in my old age, right, that maybe take it from a different angle and not use words that on the onset just brings the temperature up here, and then nobody can really hear what's going on and what the conversation. I hear y'all wanting to speak. Y'all got to give me a minute. Give me a minute. Okay. I just feel that way, right? So Tory Lanez, I think it's just bigger than his feelings and why he did what he did. I think it's the comfortability of, like, so for some, I'm gonna say, like a thug life, wanting to carry around a weapon, then utilizing that weapon, and then thinking, sometimes when they get in the industry, they think they're untouchable, and you have gotten away with so much because he knew he shouldn't have never even had a pow, right? Because he was on probation. And so it was like, why did you have it? And so you had it, and now you got in trouble. But this kind of connects to a story we already bypassed with Macaroni Tony. If they had a bigger, like a weapon or something in that situation, instead of Macaroni Tony getting beat up, he could have been unalived. And it's like, we have to find ways to settle our problems and our differences that are not always physical and involves violence on that particular level. So with that being said, I'm going to go around the room. I want people to state what they got to say. be clear, and remember, it's the conversation and not the individual. Are we good? I'm going to start at the bottom. Denzel, would you like to say anything in general or to chaotic truth?
About Tory Lanez.
Yeah.
You know what? He got 10 years, correct, Diva?
Yes, he did.
Okay. I'm glad that Megan Thee Stallion. I'm glad that she got justice, and yeah, he needs to go to prison. But you know what? I do agree. I think he should do time in prison, but 10 years is overkill. Like it's a bit much. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that, Diva.
Okay, I appreciate it. Gina, you're in the building. Anything you'd like to add to this conversation?
Yeah, so I just wanted to respond to chaotic truth. So I've got a bit to say, so bear with me for a moment.
Yes.
He is right in certain aspects. I think what the conversation is that this case has opened the floodgates for a wider conversation.
Mm-hmm.
There is a conversation to be had that yes, there are so many non-violent Black men in the community, but there is a section of Black men who are perpetuating violence towards Black women. And if we're looking at the statistics, it's 80%. And I think chaotic truth is trying to say, listen, it's not all Black men, but there are a certain section of Black men in the community who are doing this. And be honest, is that if you go on the internet, there has literally been so many fights between Black men and women online about this kind of stuff. Like, people talk about the gender wars online. Like, there is a conversation. It gets very heated. It gets toxic from like there are like some like psycho divestors online who have like a sycophantic hatred of Black men. I don't like the divestors because I think a lot of them are anti-Black. And then you have like the red pill manosphere. Like, this case has kind of created a floodgates for kind of like a men versus women kind of thing, when I think we need to have an honest conversation. It's not all Black men, but there is a certain section of Black men, and there has to be a willingness in the Black community to hold those men accountable. And this case is going to be used. If you've read her statement, because I follow this case, she threw the book at him because she wanted this case to be used as a message, as a precedent for violence, particularly against Black women. She wanted the book to be thrown at him. And the reason why his sentence is going to be so long is because the DA pushed for aggravating factors. Aggravating factors is looking at things like the fact that she was in a bikini, the social media. That is why. If it wasn't for those factors, he would get less time. That's the reason why he's serving 10 years. And unfortunately, I read somewhere that he's going to have to end up serving 85% of his sentence. So he's not going to get out for about 8.5 years. So that is what's going to happen to him. And if we're looking at the case, I think it's just an unfortunate case of just people who got drunk, a very messy love triangle. All of them kind of acted stupidly, but Tory was the one who got the gun, and in the end they harmed her. Even though I think that they all lied about certain things and all actually stupidly, he should not have taken the gun out and harmed her. And I think he does have anger issues and he needs to work that, and he probably will get deported. But again, chaotic is speaking to a larger conversation that is being had in this community, and we need to address this in a very serious way that holds men accountable, but can also do with kindness and empathy, because I'm telling you, it's happening. People are fighting each other on the internet over this. I'm seeing loads of Black women saying that this is for Black women, this is for us. So how can we have this conversation that has uncomfortable truths that will make men uncomfortable, but also has kindness? Because at the end of the day, it's happening, it is real. We have to talk about it in a positive and productive way. That's all I have to say so far.
All right, thank you. Sebastian, you're up. Sebastian, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm so sorry I didn't answer at first. Okay. I want to say this real quickly. The statistics show that white men actually make up the prisons now. 57% of the prisons, this is data from the Bureau of Prisons.gov, This was last updated Sunday or Saturday, I recall. 57% of the prisons are made up by white males. Black people only make black males make no, yeah, black people only make up 37% of the prisons. But this situation of Tory Lanez, I know I'm gonna get hate, but it's okay. This case was very, very contradicting. There's a lot of things that were missing in this case, and I'm just being honest. There was a lot of things missing in this case. This is a lot. If they were all drunk and stuff like this and all these things happened, still, just because you're being drunk doesn't excuse you from the law. Just because you took some substances, it doesn't excuse you from the law. He needs to serve his time. I know you guys are going to say, well, 10 years is a lot. 10 years is a lot. He's lucky that's all he got, okay? He's lucky that's all he's got. Because when you try to shoot someone, when you try to pow someone, that can be considered assault. Let alone if the bullets hit the person. Megan could have lost her leg, y'all. Megan could have lost her leg. What if one of those bullets hit an artery? And I know some of y'all don't like her, but Candace Owens, only a few people, even people in the community are not even standing up for Megan as much. But I don't understand. Candace Owens, who we all don't like, has been standing up for Megan Thee Stallion in this situation. He's gonna be fine. It's 10 years. It's not like he's on his last dying breath. Like, y'all are acting like he's old. It's just 10 years. He's probably not even gonna do all those 10 years. He's probably gonna get out in 7, 8. He needs to stop. Like, when you wanna be a thug, get ready to do your thug time too. I'm sorry, and this needs to be said. When you want to be a thug and wave your gun, your pow all over the place, think that there's no consequences, you always got to take it or leave it. If you didn't want to do this nonsense, you should have never had your pow at an event where there'll be alcohol. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about the situation. 10 years, actually, in my opinion, is too little. It's too little. 10 years is too little, but I understand there was inconsistencies with this whole thing, which is why I could understand why some people are saying 10 years too much. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you. Nikki, you're up.
You can skip me.
Okay. Wayne, you're up.
All I can say is that, well, first of all, just because he shot somebody in the foot ain't got, let me watch my words, don't have nothing to do with the stature of him or anybody else. Skinny people, black people, brown people, white people, all of them do the same things in the same community. The same way they think blacks just riot. Yeah, well, they saw the white folk, all the WT folks climbing up on the Capitol. Okay, so it doesn't matter what color you are, and if you think black people or the short people or the all ones and angry ones, I could see if you was in an all white area, maybe somebody comes to that conclusion. But you just going on what you see in the same place you are. That's what most people do. But anyway, I hope Tory Lanez, while he's in there, if he's in there for 10 years, all I could give him is a little tip. Do what you're supposed to do. Try to take some classes, educate yourself. Maybe you'll get an early out. Okay? You shot somebody. You put yourself, actions have consequences. And now you're in jail. Okay? If you do 10 years, you do 10 years. If you do 5 years because of good behavior, you do 5 years. Lesson learned.
I agree with you, Wayne, with everything you said. Right. So here's the thing, Kimberly. Kimberly said, Diva, I'm so disappointed in you. I'm wondering why. The person you have brought onto your show tonight is highly problematic in a space that is majority Black. So here's the thing. How do we ever learn how to even have a conversation with someone that is problematic, right? As everyone is saying, if we're going to run away from it. And all I'm saying is I'm allowing everybody say what you want to say to chaotic truth. But I'm saying, do it respectfully. That's it. So, people disagree with me all the time. And yes, and I said to chaotic truth, I think the words and how that you're using is inciting people, but we're here. It's a moment to have a conversation. And I don't have time during a live to pre-screen anyone before they come up. How would I do that? I would literally have to stop my live, try to have a conversation with you. And even if I did, that doesn't mean I'm going to pre-screen them correctly. So if anybody wants to say anything about that is on the panel that want to say anything about Tory Lanez or say anything to chaotic truth, you are welcome to say it. But just like I allow anyone to say theirs without interruption, I cannot not let him speak without interruption. I'm giving everybody the same opportunity to speak without being interrupted. So that's the best I can say on there. So, and my thing is, if you're disappointed with me on that, then you got years of disappointment, however long I'm going to be on here, because I'm far from a perfect person. Okay. So, and the thing is, just like the young lady on the train, the Asian woman was trying to see where that Black girl was coming from, just like she got on the news and didn't even say, go lock this girl up, go beat her down, and that girl was dead wrong to her. She's trying to come from a place, because the only way we're going to change something is to understand something. In my opinion, you're up. Would you like to say anything about Tory?
Oh, I want to say something, Diva. I've been up here, man. Okay, first of all, let me say this, okay?
Yes,
I'm gonna stick to the subject first, and then I'm gonna get to chaotic last, because I need to let him know it's fine. Okay, so first of all, Tory Lanez was a felony from the beginning, okay? He knew what he was getting himself into when he put his hands on that pop-out. Now, he gonna serve the time. Don't drop the soap, and I hope you get back to Canada. Okay, now, back to you, chaotic. First of all, I take offense to you calling somebody a Negro, okay? Because that is very offensive, okay? And so I'm raising 6 Black children here, okay? None of my children have ever been locked up, committed a crime or nothing. They're short because they mama's short and they dad is short. So I take offense to you saying that short people have a complex ended up in that trust line, okay? Because first of all, here's the thing that you don't understand. My Black husband is 5'7", has 5 degrees, never been locked up before a day in his life. So I take offense on his behalf too. Not all our Black men that's locked up have committed a crime. Kim K just got a few of them Black brothers off. They have not committed the crime, but they was locked up. It's people like you that put out propagandas about systems that you know nothing about. Just because you worked at the probation office, I see why you work there. Because they hire people like you that are problematic to keep people locked up for no reason. Instead of you reaching out and helping young people that need your help, you rather lock them back up and have them on that pipeline to that jail system. The problem with you is nobody sat there and taught you how you're supposed to talk to your children so they don't end up on that same pipeline that these white folks had laid out for them from the jump. Some of these kids come from broken homes where parents have to struggle, sleep on the carpets, sleep in shelters, everything to raise these kids up, and nobody reaches out a hand to help them. So before you get up here and spew your little whatever you call facts, have something to bag it up, because I ain't see you put nothing in the chat. And then for you to put in the chat that we need to take our men back to Africa, that was so disrespectful of you. I appreciate you, but you can leave.
Well, there you have it. Thank you. In my opinion.
CT. Bye.
She has spoken the truth.
I appreciate you. Yes, I appreciate it, in my opinion. And I didn't realize in the chat you said go back to Africa. That's
I
what.
didn't, ma'am. I did not say that.
Oh,
I didn't say that at all, and I would like to address that. Is that
But
possible?
what you said was still problematic. You said that
Ma'am,
Negroes need
can
to
I
bring their
address that with you,
savageness
please, the
back to the
host?
jungles of
wait,
Africa.
May I
That's what
hold on
you
address
one
that
said.
second,
with the
chaotic
host,
truth.
please?
Hold on one second, chaotic
Okay,
truth.
because I
Go
didn't say
ahead.
that at all.
Okay. Go
Thank you.
ahead, Sebastian. What was you gonna say? And then
What
I'm
you said was still problematic. You said that Negroes need to bring their savagehood back to the jungles of Africa.
I did
That
not
was
say
still
that.
problematic.
May I address the host, please? Is that possible?
go ahead, and then I'm gonna let E
Thank
speak.
you.
Diva, check your chat. I don't lie to you.
Yes. What I said in the chat was the Negro needs to leave their savagery in the jungles of Africa, meaning that it is time to evolve as a people socially. And the savage nature of Tory Lanez needs to be left in the jungles of Africa, meaning that leave that barbarism in the Stone Age. I'm not dogging Africa at all. I'm just saying, metaphorically speaking, we are higher beings, and the jungles are for animals. Now, if he was white, I would say in the caves. If he was Asian, I would say in the jungles as well. They have jungles in Cambodia. They have jungles in South Korea. That's what I was saying. I wasn't saying go
You
back
are
to
so out
Africa.
of touch with reality.
May I speak to you, Diva? Because obviously I've respected everybody's talking. I didn't cut anybody off, Diva. I'm just explaining to you what I said. And that's what I said verbatim. The black man needs to leave his savagery in the jungles of Africa, meaning that, again, gray haired Diva, the behavior that we see in drill music, the behavior that we see in a lot of these cities, we have to eliminate this. We have to be higher beings. We have to use logic and reasoning. And to address, in my opinion, if a parent is sleeping on the floor, maybe that parent should not have had children in the first place.
Oh, baby.
All right.
Now, let me tell you something.
Okay.
First of all,
Oh, Jesus.
All right.
Oh,
We got it.
Oh, that was
Gray-haired Diva.
disrespectful.
Okay,
Diva, let me correct him real quick.
Gray-haired
Let me
Diva,
preach him some knowledge,
Go
okay?
ahead.
Please,
First of
opinion,
all,
please.
Go
I
ahead.
ain't the one you want to go back to back with me, okay? Let me tell you something. First of all, you don't know how that mother got to where she was sleeping on the floor, okay? So don't prejudge nobody. First of all, let me tell you something. It was a lot of people that lost their jobs when this pandemic happened, and they had to lose their houses, okay? So, sir, before you judge somebody, there's a lot of women that live in shelters, take good care of their children. They just falling down on hard times and didn't have somebody there to lift them up. There are women that get out of abusive relationships and have to go into a shelter, but they take care of their kids. They may not have a piece of furniture to their name. Don't mean that kid don't eat. Don't mean they don't get educated. Don't mean they don't get clothes. Don't mean they don't get no bath. Just because they ain't got no furniture and they sleep on the floor, you just judging them? I'm gonna need you to go do some research before you get up here and try to talk to me, okay? Because I've been on this for a mighty long time, and I've seen people. Let me tell you something. The thing about a person like me, okay? I dedicate my time to all kind of different services, okay? I've been in shelters. I've been at the food bank feeding people, and I've created a Meals on Wheels on my own. So yes, I know about these people in their hard times. And for you to sit here and say they shouldn't be a mother because they sleep on the floor, that could have been your mother had she been left in a certain situation. That could have been your grandmother.
I'd
Show
like to
this
say
Negro
something.
to the
Okay,
door.
go ahead, Wayne, and then Sebastian.
Diva, I'm done. All I can say is show this Negro to the door.
Oh,
Sebastian.
okay.
Can I say something after
Let me calm
Sebastian,
down.
please? I don't skip
Yeah,
over
give me
you.
a minute, Dustin. Give me a minute. Sebastian.
Okay, I want to say this. The shelters comment is not. It's not a good comment because there have been many people who have risen from the shelters. And chaotic truth, I believe you're part of the red pill or something like that. You could just answer yes or no.
No.
Oh, you're not? Okay, this is interesting. Okay, interesting. But there's been many successful people that have come out of the shelters. So rather that they had their children than give up their children or just terminate their children's lives, because you never know, that child could have been a blessing. That child probably would have gotten them out of poverty growing up. That child could have done so many things. We cannot say this type of things where like they should have never had kids. First of all, you talked about a lot of things that are within physical and biological meanings, like height and stuff like that, with anger. Well, humans are supposed to reproduce. This is a fact. All species are supposed to reproduce to prevent extinction. This is what we do. We can't say stuff like this. We cannot say stuff like they should have never had kids. That child is probably going to let them to motivate them, because children do motivate parents to stop doing what they're doing that caused them to be in the shelter. To seek out a job that will allow them to raise their child, to seek further education to allow them access to a higher income bracket to raise their child. These are horrible things when you say these things like this.
Candace, thank you for the super chat. Yes, I was in a women's shelter in Wilmington, Delaware with my 5 kids while in nursing school. Now I make over $100,000 as an RN. Fellow RN Candace, congratulations and thank you for sharing and giving us that comment. Velma, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me say this. I think that chaotic truth, unfortunately, just again my opinion, unfortunately for you, there's no message probably that you're ever going to be able to get across to any person, because you start off from a very chaotic, like you said, place. Like you really do. I mean, you generalize a lot. And by saying that, listen, today you can have it, tomorrow you cannot, just like that. And that's with any one of us. And I don't care if you went to the local community college, no college, or you went to an Ivy League school. Okay. Like just like that, you could be up one day and down the next, right? And you generalize a lot in terms of people, and to use behaviors and say, oh, you can go back to the jungle, or the caves, or the whatever the case may be, or leave that mentality and that behavior there. Okay. Either way, it is coming from a place of, just like when they say with parenting or even in relationships, if you're both yelling at each other, nobody's hearing each other. If out the gate I'm offending the people I'm trying to talk to and have a conversation with, I lost. No matter how right my conversation may be, I lost. Because who's going to hear me? Who's hearing me when out the door I'm saying, listen, if you short, black, this, that, and the other, you probably got short man syndrome and this syndrome and that syndrome, and that's why you are who you are, and you're always going to be that way. And I'm kind of summing it up that if you know anything about people, you're never going to get through them by having conversations that have that type of language in it, have that type of speak in it, because nobody's going to hear past those barriers, because you're already knocking them down and offending them by the very words that are coming out of your mouth. So how do you get to change? How do you get to education when you're educating me or trying to educate me, but you have offended me, someone in my family, my friends, my neighbors, my dog, my cat, my mother, my father, my grandmother, or whatever? If I grew up in a home where, and I happen to be a product, give me 1 second, guys. Let me just show this here. Keeping it Copeland, thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate you. So I am a product, and I'm not afraid to say it. Listen, I'm a product of social services. Okay. My mother received, back in my day, they called it different things now, right? But my mother received welfare at one point in her life, food stamps, and I'm talking food stamps. I don't know if anybody out there know what I'm talking about, where Now they give you a debit card, a sort of like an EBT card. I'm talking food stamps where it was paper money and you tore it out of a book. I'm talking food stamps. And that mentally, for anybody that has to go in the store and do that, that can set a certain mindset in you too if you're not strong enough to rise above that and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? But at least now they give you a debit card, so you're not standing there when it's time to pay in the supermarket and counting out $5 and dollars and whatever with the food stamps. Okay, I know people that have received Section 8, and so my point is that all of these individuals are not the bottom of the barrel. They're not the worst. They're not this. They're not that. They're not whatsoever. Listen, I started out. I think I told this story here too. My thing is, I don't have to graduate at the top of the class. I just need to be in the graduating class. And every time I graduate from whatever school, I was at least in the line of the graduating class. Okay, it wasn't a valedictorian, wasn't none of that, but I graduated. I went to a local community college. Then I went to the state university. Then I went back to school for nursing. Then I went back and got my BSN. Then I went back and got my master's degree. But how about this? Even if I never did any of that, the single mother that raised me, and okay, we lived in some crazy conditions at times when I was growing up. She still did what she did, and she instilled what she instilled with me, and that made me the person that I am. So I don't think to say in a bucket that everybody that looks like this or everybody that, they just go one certain route. I think that conditions, environments, and everything else has a lot to do with who you turn out to be. So I would just welcome this to you because you have most certainly ticked off a lot of the people here in the chat and a lot of the people on the panel. And I'm just saying that Diva, what you're describing hate speech, every word was hate speech. The irony is the second topic tonight was about hate speech and hate crimes and violence. You are correct, Nikki. I mean, it's a lot going on in your speech that is coming out your mouth. But I will say this is there unfortunately won't be able to be a conversation because you already ticked. I can probably say for the most part on the panel, you already ticked everybody off, and you ticked everybody off in the chat. And I would say to you, if you're going to go around, if you're perusing the YouTube streets, you're going to jump in the panel and jump in the conversation, think about how you're going to enter and be a part of that conversation if you really want to have a conversation with the people and get through to the people. Because maybe what you said and what was heard is two different things. But even when I give you an opportunity to do a rebuttal, everything that still comes out your mouth is problematic for the people. So I will say this, definitely over here, I definitely allow people to say their words because listen, they know me over here. They don't even agree with a lot of stuff that come out of my mouth, but we go at it in a very caring, and I don't know what the other words won't come in out of my mouth right now. We go at it at a very caring and compassionate way because we all, for the most part, we know each other and nobody wants to offend anybody. And usually when we have our backstage conversation, a lot of the people in the chat don't know this. It's all love between us, no matter how much we go at it on the screen, right? We all love each other. And I think that respectfully, Chaotic Truth, I'm going to have to let you go because you ruffled a lot of feathers. You said a lot of problematic things. The N-word is problematic for our community, period. And I let you speak, but it offended many. And I wish you well. Yes.
Well, may I say something real quick to you?
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate you and the panel and the chat. Salute to you all. Positivity is definitely coming your way. Nice to meet you, gray-haired diva. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And have a good night.
Have a good one.
Okay. All right, guys. Woo woo.
Hallelujah. Glory.
Thank you, Lord.
God is real, y'all.
Listen, let
God
me.
is real.
Okay, so woo woo
Can I say
woo
something real
woo
quick,
woo
Ava?
woo. Give
Woo
me
woo
1
woo.
second, please, Dustin.
Talk
Give me
about
1
the
second.
train off the track.
Yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
yeah.
Should we
Okay.
get back to the topic?
Yeah. So let's woosah. Let's woosah. Let's woosah.
This train blowed up, okay?
Woo. Yeah, we did. We crashed and burned, but it is okay, right? It is okay. The thing is that unfortunately there are a lot of people in the world as such, right? The part you can respect is showed his face, right? And he spoke his truth, but he spoke his truth showing his face. And I will give him that, right? He spoke his truth showing his face. And that is his truth. And what we got to understand is in the world is you got to hear people so that when you're moving in this world, you know what you're working up against. Because sometimes we get a comfort zone when you may be going to places that you may need. You be like, oh my God, I feel a little more comfortable because my brother and my sister is on the jury, or my brother and my sister is part of the force. Well, know that sometimes your brother or your sister might be thinking like chaotic truth. Is everybody trying to connect in a little bit to what I'm saying?
You know, Diva, the thing of it is that I know you said that's their truth, but is it the truth that we Negroes? What if somebody came in here and called us jungle bunnies because that's what they felt and that was their truth?
No, and Wayne, don't get it twisted. I'm
No, I
never.
know what you're
Yeah,
saying, but I'm
yeah.
saying no, it just wasn't. I mean, first I thought I was trying to right from the beginning. You know, when he said Negro, so I thought he was just trying to
right,
just put it. But he kept on saying it, Negro. Like I don't understand it. I'm 66 years old.
Right.
It even said in the dictionary that that's offensive.
Right. I'm
He
like,
knew it was offensive.
what was it? You know
He
what?
did. He did, Regina. I think
What
that was
he did,
Regina. Yeah.
Diva, you know what he did?
Mhm.
He saw opportunity.
Right.
He wants to let us know that his panel and all this stuff, he tried to turn it almost into his show, but it wasn't gonna go for it.
Right. Well, you know what? I had someone else a while back come up from this clubhouse, and it seems like they all it seems like they have like their housewives manual. They all go by the same script, and that person tried to do it also. But the here's the thing, right? I wanted to allow him to say whatever it was he was going to say. I thought he was going to have a recovery moment. He didn't. And like I said, maybe he'll listen to me. If you want to get your message out, how you going to, if you keep offending the people, you'll never get past the barrier to even have a real conversation with them. And I think he wanted it to go like a rah, 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 so he can go back and do whatever he was going to do with that. But you know what? He caught it this time, and he could keep it moving. Because somebody even told me that they looked on his channel and he wasn't just live, because he said he just finished a live. Regina, because y'all be having me overtime.
Oh, I'm sorry, Diva. I'm
No,
glad
you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead.
I'm glad
Can I
you
say
dropped
something
them
real
because
quick?
I just
Okay, wait, hold on,
to.
Regina. I'm sorry. I've been promising Dustin. Yes, Dustin,
Oh,
go ahead
my
and
bad.
say something, and then I'm gonna let Regina speak.
What I'm gonna say something really quick, and I think that he deserves his time in jail for what he did to Megan Thee Stallion. Because I think if you do the crime, you should do the time, and that's all I'm gonna say, Diva. And I had an awesome night on this panel. Yes, we did have somebody else that had a different opinion, but we took it with stride, and we're just gonna move on like we always do. And I'll always be here for you, Diva, and that's the truth. And we're always going to be here for. And tomorrow I'm going to be here for you, right as I always say.
Thank you.
Diva, just something real quick.
Yeah, we know you have your pets, Diva. It's okay. We know you have your
Don't do
favorites.
that, don't do that. Hold on, guys. I promised Regina she could speak, but Wayne, go ahead really quickly.
Just 2 seconds. He left here bleeding. He left here bleeding because Nikki cut that ass up. Okay?
It was
Nikki,
in my
I was about to
opinion. It was
join him.
in my
I was
opinion.
about
In
to
my
join him.
opinion.
But he gone to the hospital to get some stitches.
He is. Okay, wait, Regina, I'm coming to you. Let me just read this. Diva, if possible, always try to have control of your channel because topics like these are sensitive. Ones can backfire. I believe both sides are right and wrong to a point. Yeah. I felt like I had control. I do.
You had a lot of control.
Believe me. I'm from the Bronx.
Boogie down.
Come on now, you better ask somebody.
All right, the
Diva,
Bronx.
Diva already knew I was hot. That's why she
Yeah,
went to the
I
bottom.
do. But that's why I let you go ahead and do your thing. And honey, and you brought it home. You brought it home. Regina, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
I'm just happy that you dropped him because I was ready to throw my hat up like oh boy at the riverfront.
Oh, me too.
he needed to be stopped.
Me too.
But it's just sad to hear like people that look like us talk like that. You know what I'm saying? And just after the celebration of yesterday, like he on some other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I wanted to say. I'm glad you dropped him because I was steady hitting it and it was saying full. But I'm glad that was the Lord because I was going to come on here and be disrespectful because you just told us, to respect people's opinion and stuff. So that was the Lord that was holding me back that I couldn't get through. But I'm glad he gone.
Yeah. You know what, though? That's what he wanted us to do, right? And the thing with him is it's like, here you are, the struggle we've been through, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah. And then he had the nerve to say that he boule. Did y'all hear that when he said that?
What'd you say?
What now?
That he was boule. That we're not like him. He's a boule. That was like the first thing that he said when he came in. It's like a Uncle Tom. They said like Frederick Douglass was a boule member. It's like black people that are for educated black people that are for themselves and other educated black people. They look down.
He's a black conservative. You know he's a black conservative. I've seen his channel. It's very like I've been on his channel like before. It's literally like full of like black conservatives.
But the thing is, what he was saying was not part of black
it don't matter to me if he a conservative, liberal, or independent. I'm coming from speaking from a black person. Everything he said was wrong. I don't care what he got on his channel. What he came with was wrong.
Offensive, everything.
Yeah.
Also, I want to say this real quickly. It doesn't matter.
Here's the thing, though, right? I mean, then when he wanted to talk about if you sleep on the floor, you shouldn't have had kids. I was like, okay, I'm done with him. Because literally, listen,
that was so wrong.
He's messy. And when I tell you I grew up poor, come on now, please.
Me too.
Diva, you know what else caught my attention as well? With him saying that and him saying that he was a school teacher. So you was a mentor to these young black kids that you look down on.
He also said he was a parole officer. So you know what he was doing.
Wait, come on.
It's just ridiculous. I'm just glad you dropped him.
Wait, hold on, because Regina, you made a good point. That's what I'm talking about. That one right there, teaching our kids. That one right there is responsible for our kids who made a mistake and may perhaps have found themselves in juvenile detention, this, that, and the other. Anytime you coming from a place where you already got prejudgments about people, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It doesn't.
It doesn't work. And one thing they tell you in nursing, because listen, you don't know who you're going to have to take care of. And they said, listen, I never forget this one class. They said, listen, somebody came in and they just unalived 10 people. You got to save their life. You got to save their life. What you going to do? You not going to do what you're supposed to do because they unalived 10 people? So you got to leave all your judgment at the door. Like you a teacher and you got all of these prejudgments about people. So imagine our kids running into you.
Yeah. And then you not even having a safe space for them. It's just sad. Like when he said that, I just went off on him in the chat. So I apologize for the curse words and all that, but I did.
See, I never
Diva, everything was
educating
negative.
me. I never heard this term before. Boule. Is that, am I saying it right?
Yeah.
I never
Yeah,
heard
that's what a
that
boule
term
is. Yep.
before.
That's my first time hearing that too.
Yeah.
Y'all need to stop saying he's the male Candace Owens. Candace Owens is out in these streets defending Megan Thee Stallion, okay? Y'all need to stop. She's defending them more than the black community.
Yeah, so Boule.
She's
He's
still a
just as
bad
toxic. He's just
person.
as toxic. He's just as toxic. Let me tell you something. Candace on she just as toxic as he is. Here's the thing. Those type of people like that are the reason why so many young black people end up on that pipeline for the jail system.
Yep.
I tell you what, though, I'm gonna be very honest with you. There's forget about color for this moment. There's teachers who are meant to be teachers and they out there doing the most for these kids, and there's some raggedy teachers out there. I will say this, that I'm fortunate. Now I ran into some bad ones as my son was going through the school system, but I ran into a whole lot of good ones who literally was working second jobs and using their money to buy supplies for these classrooms and all of that stuff. So it's just sad though when you have one person like that in the mix, and they're, because our kids are with their teachers almost more than they're with us sometimes, right? Because when they're with us, it's sleeping hours, they're asleep. They're in school most of the day. Then they come home, we eat, we sleep, or you go into whatever little activity you're going to go to. The teachers have a big influence on the kids. And
Can I
for
say
our
something
kids
real
to
quick?
run into a bad teacher is just, it's sad. And it's sad like these people slip through the system. Yeah, I don't
But
know.
hate is taught, diva. Hate is
Can I say
taught.
something real? Can I say something real quickly?
Real quick, because I'm overtime. I'm about to
Okay.
close this thing out.
Actually, people, we need to. It's too easy to become a teacher. I'm sorry. It's too easy to become a teacher.
Speak
We
on
have
this
too many,
bastard.
we have too many fools who are able to become teachers by the way it's so easy to become a teacher. 1, 2, y'all need to be up in these schools. Y'all need to be up in these schools, making sure y'all know what they're teaching your kids.
You
Y'all
sound
need
like him, like you don't know if we in there or not. Don't do that.
Yep, that's what I'm
Diva,
saying.
don't do
First of all, they ain't
Don't do
paying
that.
these
Don't do
teachers.
that.
First of all, by your suggestion, Sebastian, then they need to pay these teachers more than they paying them. Because if you
Y'all
look
need
at
to
a
make
teacher's
sure we
salary,
don't have
they do
people.
align with
Listen,
that
guys,
little salary.
listen. I love
Diva,
y'all.
I know you
got
did not
to
just do
go.
that.
Hold on, y'all. I love y'all. I got to go because I'm overtime. But Jason said he threw up the Alpha Phi Alpha hand sign earlier when someone commented that that was also Greek. Really?
Did he?
I would have to go back and look. Good gosh.
Oh
He
my
threw up some.
lord!
What he did, I thought he was maybe like looking at another screen, like when you do like this, like you tell somebody call me back.
Yeah.
I thought that's what he was doing. Like he had some kind of hand sign like that. So I thought he was signaling somebody, look, call me back or something.
Y'all need to make sure
But you
people
know
like
what
him
they
are
usually do when they come from that clubhouse? They're on the live with somebody, but then they're streaming the live to their channel on the clubhouse. It's a game they play, and
What?
it's a mess. That the last one did that. Diva, we share the same career, nursing. I still live it. Now I understand your compassion. It comes naturally. Oh, Trina.
That's
Listen,
sweet.
guys. I love y'all. It was a different show, and I couldn't even bring up our last little thing here, because we may have to tack it on to some Marvels. I love my airplane stories. I couldn't even bring it up because this man was a whole hot mess. Okay,
Yes,
a whole
Lord.
hot mess, and I just want everybody to know this. If y'all know me, y'all know me. And y'all know that I wasn't in agreement with what that man was saying and the way that he was saying it, right? But
Don't worry, diva. I was gonna get ready to text you.
yeah. So, but I do really like to try to give people the opportunity to say what they have to say, because what happens is when we all speak at the same time, if you ever go look back when we all get passionate and we're all speaking at the same time, nobody
Yeah.
can really hear anything. Like we can't hear each other, we can't hear what's being said, and it just gets chaotic.
It does.
He got through this time. He said what he said, and we know deep down you know, that it's some shenanigans, it's some nonsense, it's ridiculous. Because listen, you can come from the best situation and end up the worst. You can come from the worst situation and end up the best.
Exactly.
Amen.
It
Amen.
really doesn't matter. And you could be short, tall, brown, dark, light, whatever. Stuff happens.
Look at Bryson. Bryson is a great example.
Well, let's continue on. I love you, Sebastian. Listen, guys, hit that like button
and
have
subscribe.
A good night. Thanks for the show. I'll see y'all tomorrow night for Trending Topics again. Love y'all.
Love you, Diva.
Bye.
Love y'all.
Listen, thanks for hanging in there and holding your composure, because I know some of y'all was ready to lose it. All right.
Way to go, Nikki. Way to go.
Exactly.
It was in my opinion.
And opinion.
Nikki said a little bit too. Nikki said a little bit, but in my opinion, yeah. But anyway, guys, good night. See you next time. Bye.
Good night, Diva. See you tomorrow.